Dr. Ambedkar fought for labor laws for us. A lot of people don't know this. In the British era, he fought for that 8-hour workday. He fought for a 1-hour lunch break. He fought for 2 10-minute breaks, and it was institutionalized back then. I mean, it's interesting now that we have Indian business owners saying, "Hey, you know what? Unless you're going to put in these many hours, and we're not going to pay attention to what the labor laws say, we're not going to consider this, real work." Can you put it into perspective why you think the labor laws should be valid even for people who are doing white collar jobs in the IT sector or in hospitality or any other job?
Well, thank you, Faye, for pointing out something which people don't know or people don't recognize. That before he was the rock star lawgiver of the Constitution, in the British times, Ambedkar was our first labor minister. And a lot of things like you see today and you take for granted, like the Industrial Disputes Act or the Minimum Wages Act or the Mines Act, were all because of Ambedkar's efforts. In fact, for example, he actually went to the mines in Dharia and other places, interacted with the mine workers and their families and found out their conditions of working, and came back to Delhi and incorporated the legal reforms taking into account the lived experience of workers. Now, this goes back to 1919 and the founding of the Indian Labour Organization, International Labour Organization. And there were conventions. So the whole fight of labor has been to go from contract to status. Let me explain what I mean. So by contract, for example, I am an IT company. I can by contract force Faye to work for 70 hours a week as per our vision of our founder, let's say, Mr. X. However, the fight of labor law has been to take it away from contract and give the status. If you are a workman, then that status gives you certain rights. And one of the rights, Faye, as you rightly pointed out, is the right to a regulated work week, a regulated work day. And all the legislation, be it the Factories Act or the Shops and Establishments Act, the Minimum Wages Act, the Mines Act, the Working Journalists Act, which affects journalists, now all of that incorporated into the Occupation Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code of 2020, though not implemented till now, they all provide for a work day. 9 hours, 8 hours with a rest period. So this is the status which is being given to an employee. It is a hard-won status. Now, in the light of this, to say that, all this should be thrown to the wind, and if you go for a 70-hour week, or if that is the target is the hours rather than the output, then this battle of decades, starting with Baba Saheb and continuing till now, fought by the workers, will completely go to the wind.